Entering this past offseason, David Griffin would say that this wasn't going to be a summer of complacency and that the time to get better was now. This season, the New Orleans Pelicans have been so bad that fans of the team like myself have already started looking forward to the NBA draft. Guys, it's only January.
Okay. Listen up, everybody. I have some news. All I can do right now is put on a brave face and go out there and be their leader. It's over. We are screwed.
As a Pelicans fan, I'm pretty straightforward. I just want to see our former high school phenom and touted generational talent lead us on a deep playoff run while building excitement for the fan base during the regular season. I don't want the arena to be empty because this talent is never available and fans are tired of the franchise's lies. If the Pelicans were expected to be some bad rebuilding team this season like the Nets, then I'd be handling this season a lot better than I am. But currently, even the Nets are better than us. Not only were the Pelicans not expected to be rebuilding, but many people, including myself, are confused about the overall direction of this franchise. And some of that is due to the large amount of uncertainty that surrounds this generational talent that I've been talking about so much. Things have taken yet another unique turn with Zion. And finally, the franchise has had enough of his nonsense. And the reason is exactly what you would expect. But before we dive into this mess, if you're tired of the same old story with the Pelicans or you're just here for the ride, do me a favor, like the video, and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss another video. I got this comment on my last video that said YouTube's algorithm removes the need to subscribe since it recommends videos that we would normally watch anyways. And while the algorithm does do a really good job, the thing is that unless you have notifications on, you'll still miss out on content from your favorite creators. This happens to me all of the time. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. And speaking of not missing out, I've got to tell you about today's sponsor. So today on Underdog, I'm really feeling like Paul George is going to have a nice game. I'm sure that he sees the criticism that he's been getting and really wants to perform. So I'll take Paul George going higher than 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. As we went over in a previous video, Evan Mobley has really been stuffing stat sheets this season. So I'm also going to take him going higher than 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If you still haven't signed up for Underdog yet, now's your chance. Use my code COOP to grab up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick to get started. Plus, it's a great way to show some love for the channel. Thank you, Underdog, for the sponsor. As a Pelicans fan, it's wild to imagine what this team could become with better management and a fully healthy, fully engaged Zion Williamson.
Team now for DeJounte and almost taken away. It is taken away. Uh-oh. Showtime. Go for it. Pels by 4.
Zion Williamson is undeniably a beast, but as we all know, he's rarely fully healthy or in peak condition. As a result, moments like the one that I just showed you often feel like a glimpse of what could be, rather than a sustained reality. Heading into this season, as many of you know, I was really excited about the potential of this current Pelicans team. I might have sold a few of you guys on the dream, and that's my bad. You can call it delusion, but coming into this season as a fan, this time, things really felt different and everything was looking up. Rather than hearing reports about Zion Williamson exceeding 300 pounds or seeing memes about him looking out of shape on a Mountain Dew commercial, we were getting updates that he was in the best shape of his career, with his dad even suggesting that he was now slimmer than he was at Duke. Now hold on, let's go back. Before we completely move past that Mountain Dew commercial, I don't care what anybody says. These guys knew what they were doing publishing that commercial. With Zion Williamson in peak condition and the Pelicans acquiring DeJounte Murray, like I said, coming into this season, things seemed promising. While that DeJounte trade would come with the catch, with Dyson Daniels emerging immediately after the deal, at least we no longer had to see CJ McCollum tasked with being the team's primary point guard. I really tried to not dwell on losing Dyson too much, because DeJounte is smooth and fills a desperate need. And also, I don't believe that Dyson ever would have reached his full potential in New Orleans, but Dyson, we miss you.
having it their way so far. Will it continue as they lead by 9?
Dyson probably doesn't miss us, and honestly, with our luck, I can't blame him. Bad things always seem to happen to the Pelicans, especially when it comes to injuries. Earlier this season, Dyson would let us know how unlucky we are, saying that organization's cursed. Every year there's something new. I'm happy I'm not there anymore. I had like 4 or 5 ankle injuries down there as well. There's something down there in the water or something. They got hamstrings, they got knees, they got concussions and stuff as well. They get everything down there. I don't know what it is. Playing hard, I guess. This season, this man has really unloaded the clip on my Pelicans.
We are in practice and he over here grabbing me. He's not letting me hold my jersey. I'm like, yo, bro, we're in practice. Like, can you please calm down?
Yeah, we got to be careful with them over in New Orleans. You know, they're fragile.
So I don't want to.
Dyson, my man, what's going on?
Well, let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
Despite my hopeful expectations for this Pelicans team, the same injury woes that Dyson was joking about ended up derailing any chance that we had before things could even get rolling this season. DeJounte Murray has had some personal issues, but injuries have also taken a toll on him this season. Jose Alvarado has missed a significant amount of time, which might not seem like a big deal, but he's the spark plug for our entire team.
Defensively do that. Brogdon on the finish. No. Hawk got the block. Jose takes it away.
This is what Jose does.
Jose.
This is what Jose does. This is what Jose does.
To keep going, CJ McCollum has missed a ton of games this season. Trey Murphy's been sidelined for a good stretch of time. Brandon Ingram has also missed a lot of games. Herb Jones had missed his fair share before becoming out for the season. And of course, Zion Williamson has missed a lot of time too. By now, I'm sure that you guys get the picture. Injuries aren't the sole reason that the Pelicans have struggled, but they've certainly played a big part in making things worse than they already are. Throughout all of this, it's felt like Willie Green has had that Mario star. You know, the one that makes you invincible. I suggested that Bradley Beal needs this star a few videos ago, and he might be in luck. He just needs to go borrow it from Willie Green. Coaches have been fired for less, and the Pelicans are out here giving this man a leash like he's Prime Popovich. What was especially deflating about Zion's hamstring strain that was keeping him sidelined was that it had seemed like he was returning to his old ways. During his hiatus, he would get a tattoo that he would show off to the world. And as he was showing off this tattoo, he would also show off that he wasn't really in the shape that you would expect a high-level athlete to be in. It really had felt like the same old story with Zion, and honestly, I was nearly fed up with the situation. And then he returned. When he came back, he didn't just look fit like we would like to hype up so much. He actually looked slim. Look at this picture and tell me that this man doesn't look like a completely different person. Don't get me wrong. The Pelicans still sucked, but now there was at least some reason for cautious optimism when it came to the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Then, out of nowhere, the Pelicans would suspend Zion Williamson for one game after his return. The reason for this suspension would be because he was late for a team flight, which is definitely unprofessional, but isolated. It's not something that necessarily indicates that the world is ending. Turns out, though, that this wasn't the first time that something like this had happened. It wasn't even the second time. To quote Pelicans head coach Willie Green, there were several occasions that led up to this, which is why the team felt comfortable proceeding with this suspension. There's so much wrong here that I don't even know where to start. You know what? Yes, I do. Kudos to the Pelicans for finally getting a backbone and suspending this man. If there have been several occasions where something like this has happened, then some form of discipline should have happened a whole lot sooner. It gets to a point where you're just enabling the guy.
I thought it was a bad decision. This guy came in with, let's rewind all the way back. When this guy was getting drafted and we knew he was going to New Orleans and it was a weight concern, that was bad then. New Orleans isn't some place that just gives health. Like that's a place you go, you gain 10 pounds, you go out there, you drink, have a good time. That's what the culture of New Orleans is. So to put that kid in that situation and expect him to thrive in it, that was the first mistake.
I used to get mad at people for saying dumb stuff like what Boogie said here, where he would allude to New Orleans being a bad destination for Zion because of the delicious cuisine that you can find there, or the culture, but when the team is failing to hold him responsible for simple things to the point that this guy becomes a repeat offender, it's hard for me to blame those people who want this man elsewhere. At the same time though, I'm still not a fan of people saying those things because at the end of the day, this guy is still a professional and his contract isn't even fully guaranteed. If you ask me, he should be able to lock in on his own terms, but what do I know? Earlier in this season, Zion would drop his agency CAA. Shortly after that, a rumor would come out drumming that same old beat that we've all grown tired of hearing. This rumor would say that he basically wanted to end up in New York, and that he expected more from his representation to get him to New York via trade. And that was one of the driving factors of this split. Yeah, well, that would suck if true. With all of this going on in front of us and behind the scenes, it's no wonder that there have been rumors out there that Zion Williamson is no longer untouchable for the New Orleans Pelicans. According to Jovan Buha, they've gone as far as shopping him, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum. I like the sound of trading CJ. I don't want to lose Brandon Ingram after all that he's done for us, but Trey Murphy's breakout makes trading him a lot easier. As for Zion Williamson, there's no shot that I'm letting this man go when his value is the lowest that it's ever been. To me, that just doesn't make any sense. For those of you eager to hear more about Trey Murphy's breakout and how Yves Missi has been looking like the rookie of the year this season, don't worry, those breakdowns are coming soon. Also, we will be going more in depth with Ingram's situation too. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you guys don't miss any of this good stuff. So, Zion would address this suspension multiple times.
Grow as a player.
In terms of reliability, accountability, any goals there?
Yes, sir. Just growing as a leader.
When the team gets a suspension, like they're trying to send a message, set a standard, like what was the message you feel like they were trying to set, and how do you feel like you responded to that?
This is my job. They were holding me accountable. All I can do is just, be better. I mean, there are actions, there are consequences for, actions, and that was my consequence.
Like obviously a big part of being a star in the NBA is like consistency. How have you learned over the years like what the responsibility of that is when you get to like this level?
There's a lot of things you do on the court, off the court, and when nobody's watching. Just continue to grow as a leader there, and just on the court and off the court. That's all I can do.
If this man really does want to be a leader for this team and take us to the promised land like I know that he can, then I'm all for the Zion experience continuing in New Orleans. In limited action, him and DeJounte look like a match. But if his heart is elsewhere, I'm not worried, we'll be good. We have DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, Yves Missi, and Trey Murphy, who looks like he's going to be a superstar in the league. Elite shooters who are freak athletes at 6'10" don't exactly grow on trees. And now, this guy has some handle and is using his body more too? The league seriously needs to be careful. Don't say that I didn't warn you guys. We're also going to have an amazing pick in the Cooper Flag draft too. I mean, things could definitely be much worse. It's not like our roster sucks. I don't understand why the team didn't suspend Zion more games to really teach him a lesson, all while solidifying their tanking efforts. I'm saying tanking efforts like this team is trying to tank. I honestly think that we're just bad right now. The highs that come with the Zion Williamson experience are so high that it's easy to look past the missed games, health problems, and overall mental lapses. The more I talk about this whole thing, the more that I feel like I'm talking about a toxic relationship. If Zion were to get traded though, I wouldn't mind seeing him team up with LaMelo Ball in Charlotte. We've seen Zoe and Zion together, and that was electric. So just imagine what he'd be able to do if he made his way home to North Carolina. The Mavericks could also be a possibility for no other reason than this man just loves Dallas so much. If you don't believe me, just ask this man what the best road city in the league is.
Come on now, you know the answer to this. You seen the video, don't do that. Dallas, baby. Dallas is the best road city. What are we talking about? I would say Dallas, New York, and Toronto.
Man. Dallas is the best road city. If you love Dallas so much, Zion, why don't you marry it? Nah, but Luka, Kai, and Z would be tough for sure. The Mavericks have taken some high upside risk lately, so who knows? As always, I've seen that the Warriors might want him too, but at this point, these guys are becoming the new Heat, where you just see every player rumored to go there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that the Pelicans will move on from Zion, or will they continue to build around him like Sham suggested earlier this year? Either way, there's some more going on in the ever-expanding basketball universe that I need to be covering. So clicking the video on the screen right now and using code COOP for Underdog are both great ways to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.